Hi, everybody. Escape to the Cape. Doesn't that sound great? Especially with all the wonderful weather we're having, including today. And with Memorial Day just around the corner, I'm sure many of us are longing for a day at the beach. I'm Mary McGuire from AAA Northeast Public Affairs. And more importantly, I'm a lifelong beach lover and a huge fan of Cape Cod, a national and international destination and treasure. With that in mind, we invite you to spend a fun lunch hour now with our two experts on the best Cape Cod beaches, so that you can start planning your summer getaway and make the most of your time on the Cape. Bill D'Souza Mock is founder and principal of DEMA Public Relations, handling all aspects of PR for Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, and Nantucket Chambers of Commerce, working closely with the Mass Office of Travel and Tourism, Discover New England, and the Brand USA. He has written travel stories for a variety of publications, and he took many of the great photos he'll be showing us today. He lives in Osterville on Cape Cod. Welcome, Bill.
Right, thank you. Thank you.
Hi there, great to have you here again, your second appearance on one of our webinars, so we're excited to chat with you. Athena McGrath has spent 19 years as a travel advisor at our South Dennis AAA branch, and she is a Cape Cod native, having grown up in West Dennis. Athena knows the best Cape Cod beaches and kettle ponds, as well as hotels and attractions. And Athena and I picked the same Cape Cod beach as our mutual favorite, Mayflower Beach in Dennis, which has beautiful sandbars and sunsets. You definitely have to visit. I'm going to first turn the program over to Bill, who is going to be our virtual tour guide to the best beaches in each of the Cape's 15 towns today. And if you and our audience have a favorite beach or a question or comment, please be sure to add your comments and questions in the chat. Bill, I have to confess, first of all, notice my background back here. I've got a beach pail and a hat and a beach towel and some starfish for the occasion today. But I made my first trip to the Cape on Friday evening, went out to Boardwalk Beach in Sandwich, and it was absolutely lovely. So I know that's on your list today, and I'm going to have you take it away now as our tour guide.
Right, well, welcome. Well, welcome to my home. I'm here in Osterville, and that picture you see on the screen there is the International Space Station view of actually the very tip from about Providence all the way down to Cape Cod, which is the arm-shaped landmass there and offshore. Nearest to the screen is Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket off in the distance there. My name is Bill D'Souza Mock, and I do handle the PR for the Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce, and this is the second time Mary's had me on this kind of webinar. And today we're talking about beaches, which is perfect because I'm ready to hit the beach myself. Let me tell you a little bit about Cape Cod first. Cape Cod is a 72-mile peninsula. It contains 15 towns, about 400 square miles of landmass, and it has 560 miles of seacoast. So you can imagine a lot of beaches along those coasts. The 15 towns on the Cape are sandwiched, going from, here's a map of the Cape. From here, Sandwich, we're going to go around the top of the Cape and then around the outer side of the Cape and then along the south. Sandwich, Barnstable, Yarmouth, Dennis, Brewster, Orleans, Eastham, Wellfleet, Truro, Provincetown. And then these four towns go from east to west all the way from Cape Cod Bay to the Atlantic. And down here then, again, we have Chatham, Harwich, Yarmouth, Barnstable, Mashpee, and Falmouth. So those are the 15 towns, and we're going to start talking about some of the various bodies of water that make up these beaches. The bodies of water that this west coast of Cape Cod, this is Buzzards Bay, and this is the 7-mile Cape Cod Canal. On the north side, we have Cape Cod Bay, which goes all the way from the canal to Provincetown. Starting at Provincetown on this side, this is the Atlantic Ocean, all the way down to about here. And then from Harwich to Mashpee is Nantucket Sound, and this is Vineyard Sound. So those are the bodies of water.
And by the way, the canal is a great place to walk or ride your bike. It's got a wonderful path, and you go out there and you see people all over the place, you know, rollerblading, riding their bikes, walking. It's a great spot.
And Scusset Beach is actually on the canal as well. And you can also cycle 7 miles on one side, go over the bridge, and do 7 miles on the other side, and then of course you have to cycle back.
Great idea.
Okay, one thing I just wanted to bring up, because this has been in the news lately, great white sharks. First of all, everyone needs to understand that white sharks are not by any means predators of humans. Their primary and pretty much only food source are seals. They're very curious. Their vision is not so great, but they have been known to test, bump up to people just to get a smell of them. There are many protocols that you'll see at Cape Cod beaches this year, especially the Atlantic-facing beaches, telling you how you can just be certain that you're safe. And when you get to the beach, make sure you read the sign in full. But I just want you to know, sharks are not enemies of humans. They're not predators of humans. They're simply in the water that is basically their home. So we need to respect them, and we need to also preserve them as well.
And there's lots of signage related to that at every beach on the Cape.
Absolutely. And they have just deployed a tremendous number of devices in the water that are going to alert lifeguards and others to the presence of these animals. So, I mean, in all the years, 78 years, there was only one incident on the Cape. So it's a pretty small percentage. So just keep that in mind. Read the signage and just keep your eyes open. If you see a seal in the water, that's time for you to get out until they depart. Now,
Good advice.
yeah. Now, which beach is for you? Bayside, oceanside? Do you like warm water? Do you like cold water? We're going to start in Sandwich, and one of my favorite beaches is Town Neck Beach, which is where people find the Sandwich Boardwalk. It's quite popular and very scenic, and people love strolling along there in the evening. The beach is a little bit rocky, but the Cape side water is much warmer than the Atlantic side, which you just put your toe in one of the national seashore beaches on the ocean, you'll know it's not Sandy Neck for sure. Sandy Neck Beach is about 4,000 acres. In addition to containing the part that we see in Sandwich on the mainland, it also has an arm. It's called the Barrier Beach that kind of reaches out like this over the harbor. And you can go out on that going by boat, and also on the land side, you can go off-road on your four-wheel drive vehicle. This picture right here, you can take a boat from Barnstable Harbor and you can actually go out to the West Bar, which is where Sandy Neck Light is located. And as you can see from this picture, it's quite a popular activity. And on a sunny weekend, you'll see and they even have an ice cream boat.
Wow. That's a great thing.
It is a great thing. He's been there for years and he's quite well known. But this beach is absolutely pristine. It is kind of like the beach at Rock Harbor that has those sand flats. You have about 4 hours of flats. You can park yourself on the sand, which will be dry for that 4 hours, and then you just get everything back on the boat, and then you head back home. This is a picture right here is Sandy Neck Beach, where people are going off-road with their campers, and you can actually camp on the beach during the summer. And actually, that's me in that picture, looking at one of the Cape Cod sunsets on the left with the black tank top. And you can see the crowd of people that are there. So it's quite popular. They also, Esperanza Horseback Riding also offers tours of Sandy Neck, not just the beach, but also the back of the beach where the dunes are. So if you're a horseman or a horsewoman and you want to get on a horse at the beach, that's Esperanza Horsemanship. That is Sandy Neck Light right there, and that is one of several of the houses that comprise Sandy Neck Village. When you are at the beach on this side of Sandy Neck across the harbor, you see these houses sitting there, and you see Sandy Neck Beach at the end, and that's it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. Know a lot of people who love Sandy Neck.
Oh, it's quite large, quite large. Sandy Neck. Okay, next we're going to go to Yarmouth. Yarmouth has a conservation area called Calorie Darling Conservation Area, and at the end of the conservation area is a very long 800-foot boardwalk that goes out into the ocean and there's a beach also right at the beginning of the boardwalk. The beach used to be no fee for parking, but the town changed it this year, and now there is a parking fee. But during the winter, between June 15th and September 15th, there's a fee, but you can find a place to park somewhere in the neighborhood where it doesn't say no parking, and you can actually walk there for free. But it has that great boardwalk. It's a very gentle surf on that beach, and many people go there to go kayaking. There are some formations in the water where there's a break. It's called Bass Hole, and people kayak out to Mayflower Beach, which I know is one of your favorites.
Love it. Love Mayflower.
The next beach we're going to visit is Corporation Beach in Dennis. It's quite a long, elongated beach. It's very popular. That is, this is
That's Mayflower.
Yeah.
I recognize it.
Yeah, this is Crow's Pasture, actually. This one right here.
That's cool.
Corporation Beach is very popular with, there we are, that's it.
Corporation is one of Athena's favorites, so she recognized it right away. Go ahead, Bill.
Windsurfers, kite surfers. It has a lot of rocky outcrops to the western part of the beach, but you can see from here, it's got a very long curved beachfront, and it's very popular with families, and even in the winter, you'll see people there, and you'll even see windsurfers and kite surfers in the winter. I mean, I know it's crazy, but they do it with wetsuits.
You know, I have to say the kite surfers are super popular on the Cape, as you both well know. And I actually spent a few hours at West Dennis Beach last summer watching the kite surfers, and they're amazing to watch. They're like birds, and they, you know, people come and they set up beach chairs and they watch. They come just for the entertainment.
Well, and these, I mean, you have to be quite strong. I've tried it a couple of times, and these guys take it and they absolutely flip. And you have to be quite strong to do that. So those guys that are doing it are probably spending a lot of time at the gym, because I'll tell you, you can't flip that over unless you really have this really strong core. Next beach we're going to go is in Orleans, Skakit Beach, which has Namskakit Creek runs between that and Rock Harbor Beach. And you see the flats right there? This is what that part of the Cape is like. At low tide, you have about 4 hours where you have what we call these flats. And you can basically walk out a mile onto the beach, and the sand dries quite quickly. Set up your beach chairs and your umbrella and sunbathe for a few hours, or just walk around the water, and just make sure you just keep an eye on that. When you start seeing the water getting up above your ankles, it's time to pack up and get back to shore. Not that it comes in that quickly. Now, when you're out at Skakit Beach and Rock Harbor Beach, there is something that is on the back of the beach that's definitely worth knowing about. There's a community, a church community there called the Community of Jesus, and they have one of the most magnificent buildings there, and it's called the Church of the Transfiguration. It is open for tours, I believe, every day except for Wednesday, and it is, I think, one of the most dazzling places on the Cape to visit. It has amazing art, bronze doors, amazing tile work, mosaic tiles. It is absolute sensation. So if you happen to be over in Orleans and you want to see something that's truly magnificent, I would highly recommend taking a tour of the Church of the Transfiguration. The website is churchofthetransfiguration.org, and you can see there. You can book a tour online, or you can just show up and they'll take you through the church, which is truly an experience.
Wow, I have never heard of that, so that's a great suggestion.
It's dazzling, just dazzling. Next beach, from there we're going to head out the Cape Cod Bayside at Eastham, Wellfleet, Truro. They're quite nice, but they're all quite similar. Where beaches start getting different is when you get out to Provincetown. When you get to Provincetown, on the inner part of the peninsula is Herring Cove Beach. It's a perfect beach for families with children. The water is very gentle, and it's a little bit warmer than the Atlantic side, and it's very long. There's an absolutely terrific snack bar there, restrooms, showers. And they have various vendors who offer different kinds of food as well. So I would highly recommend Herring Cove for for families with children. And then when you go up and around Long Point to the outer side of the Cape, that is the Atlantic Ocean, and that's where you have Race Point Beach. And Race Point Beach is an ocean beach. It has sometimes pretty rough surf, but it's beautifully sandy, very soft sand, and the water is quite chilly. So it's a beautiful beach. You can spread out, and it doesn't get that crowded, but it's really a beauty. And the next
we were just at Race Point, and also a nice system of walking and bike trails there, which is pretty fabulous. A little bit hilly, and some great restrooms too, and a nice parking lot. All important.
And also out in Provincetown, they have several wonderful trails. The Beach Forest Trail and the Providence Lands Bike Trail for you cyclers are very popular. And a little bit a tough course, but you know, everyone needs a challenge. Race Point Beach, we did. The next coming around to Wellfleet, Cahoon Hollow Beach is another very popular beach, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But when you get there, it has very steep cliffs, and you have to go down a long stairway and some inclines to get down there. Some people, you know, perhaps elderly or young children, better put them on your shoulders and take them down, because it's really a pretty stiff walk down that beach. And at Cahoon Hollow Beach is also the very famous Beachcomber Beach Bar, which is absolutely packed in the afternoon and at night with live music. And it's family friendly. They have a kids menu, and it's really an amazing place to go. It sits a little bit above the beach, and you actually park on sand, and then the beach is right in front of you. But it's definitely a Cape experience. Next beach heading now towards the west is Marconi Beach. Marconi Beach is named after the Mr. Guglielmo Marconi, who actually sent the first wireless message across from the United States to the UK to, I believe, the King of England. And his site used to be right above Marconi Beach. It has since degraded so much that it's no longer there except for a few concrete pilings. But as you can see, that is Marconi Beach right there. And it does have those sand cliffs. There's a walkway down to the water. Another one of those family-friendly, dog-friendly beaches. The National Seashore beaches, you can always bring your dog. They must remain on a leash. Here we have considerably more powerful water and considerably colder. So this particular beach and Coast Guard Beach, which we'll talk about next, are both filled with surfers on really hot afternoons, and it's quite exciting to watch. I mean, I've never surfed, but it looks like it's pretty challenging, and those guys really know what they're doing out there. Beautiful beach. There's no concession at Coast Guard Beach. There's changing rooms, and I think there are outside showers, and I think they may have porta potties there now. Most of the time, you cannot park on site. You have to park off site and take the little shuttle bus back and forth to Coast Guard. I think the fee per day is $25 a day to park there. And anyone out there who is 65 or older, definitely go to the Cape Cod, the Salt Pond Visitor Center, and get your senior pass. I believe it's $25 a year now. It used to be $20 lifetime, but those days are gone. But once you get it, you can go not only to the National Seashore for one whole year, you can go to any other national park in the United States as well.
And where do you get that pass, Bill?
The Salt Pond Visitor Center in Eastham, right before Coast Guard Beach, and it's across, I think, from Dome Rock, right where the light is. You'll see the big wall that says Cape Cod National Seashore. Pull right in there and talk to one of the rangers, and they can provide that to you. And you must, when you use it, you can't just hand it off to somebody, because they ask you for ID when you go to use it.
Great suggestion.
Yeah. Okay, we're on the Eastham side of the Atlantic side of Eastham, and now we're moving towards Orleans. Most people on the Cape, I'm sure Athena knows it, Nauset Beach is one of the most prized of all beaches. It has absolutely prime surfing water. It is a 10-mile barrier beach. And you can go off-road on Nauset Beach, and I've done it often. You can also have, with a permit, you can have campfires there, as you can on other Cape Cod National Seashore beaches. They only give out a certain number a day. Once they start giving them out at 9 o'clock at the Salt Pond Visitor Center for the Coast Guard and Nauset Light Beach and Marconi, and then for the Head of the Meadow Beach and other Cape Cod National Seashore beaches, you get those at the Salt Pond, not Salt Pond, at the Providence Lands Visitor Center, and there's no charge for them, and quite a bit of rules go along with them as well, like leave nothing behind. So Nauset Beach is absolutely amazing. My friends of mine own B&B in Eastham, Fort Hill Bed and Breakfast. They actually live at Fort Hill, and if you go up to the top of Fort Hill, right down the street by the Edward Penniman House, which is another National Seashore structure that's just been rehabbed, you can actually look down onto Nauset Beach and just see how long it is offshore, like a thin little island, and it's quite impressive. So now we're in Orleans. Next town is Chatham. This is one of the towns that does not go all the way up to the north side of the Cape. Chatham Light Beach is absolutely beautiful. I believe that Chatham Bars Inn is on the easternmost part of that water. It's very beautiful to look at. It has very strong currents. So if you have your children, I would either hold their hand while they're in the water, but don't let them go off on their own. Also, there are many dolphins and seals in that water from time to time, so it's not a good place to, go in anyway, children or adults necessarily, because yes, their sharks they're looking for their meal, and you can definitely see them. But when you see seals in the water, and they're very often there in considerable numbers. Good place to stay out of your water, stay knee deep.
Great place to fly a kite, though, on the beach. And they used to get lighthouse tours at the lighthouse in Chatham. I don't know if they still do that, but we've been up in the lighthouse. And if you go up the coast just a bit, the Chatham Fish Pier is a fabulous little spot. And you can watch the fishermen come in with their catch, usually around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and the seals are all gathered, hoping to get a little snack. And there's also a nice little clam bar there.
There is. And also they actually have ambassadors that walk around. They have a uniform on, and they're happy to answer questions or just show you around. Or and like I said, the fish pier market is quite popular. Actually, the fish pier has just been replaced, so it's a whole new, I think, a different material now than it used to be, so it doesn't degrade so quickly.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that.
That's, I think, last year. They just finished it last year. The other beaches between Chatham and Barnstable are, I hate to say not so interesting. They're, Nantucket Sound beaches. There's nothing really exceptional about them. They're beautiful beaches, but they all look kind of the same. I'm looking for the ones that are a little bit different. And so we're going to move from the border of Chatham. So we're going to not mention any beaches in Harwich and Dennis. We're going to go to, and Yarmouth, those 3 towns. We're going to go right to Hyannis. And one of my most favorite beaches is Falmouth Beach. And this is the beach where they have old windsurfers, because it is right at the point, it's quite windy there, from Falmouth Beach, you can see the ferries coming and going all day long. And on a windy day, that's where everyone heads to watch the windsurfers. And they are there in January. So believe it or not, I couldn't believe it. Went down there to, my lunch hour to, read a book and something. I said, they're here. Couldn't even get a parking spot. And this is January.
Wow. They're made of tough stuff, apparently.
Well, they are. Oh, one thing I see, you see this picture there in Provincetown at the East End Rotary, where the Pilgrim's First Landing Park is, there is the breakwater, and you see that breakwater there. It's almost a mile long, and it is a really wonderful walk from the east end of Provincetown to Long Point. And Long Point is the physical tip of Cape Cod. Race Point isn't, because the Cape actually wraps around, and that where it wraps around is Long Point. You can walk across the breakwater, and you have Long Point Light, and then you have Wood End Light, 2 lighthouses you can visit over there. It's a very nice sandy beach. There are rarely very many people there. It is a challenging walk. As you saw, it was a lot of rocks. So wear good shoes and don't go. You want to go when the tide is out and back, because there have been some cases where people have gotten not underwater, but they have been, knee deep in water trying to get across the harbor, and that water weighs you down and it's harder to walk in it. So just, if you want to go, and if you're energetic or athletic and you want to do that, it's a great thing to do. Just watch the tides, wear good shoes.
So Long Point is the tip, not Race Point. I did not know
No,
that. I thought Race Point was the tip, so that's
Nope.
interesting.
No, well, here, I'll show you right here. See, Race Point is right here. Can you see? Yeah, right there. And see, so the Cape wraps around, and this is the tip. So this is Long Point Light, this is Wood End Light, and that's Race Point Light. So the Cape continues, see, it kind of curls around here. So this is the tip of Cape Cod. And also, if you take that walk, if you choose not to walk back, there's a boat service called Flyers Boat Rentals. It's called the Long Point Shuttle. In the summer, it goes every 30 minutes. So if you make it one way and you just can't do the walk back, just hail them. They'll come pick you up and bring you back. So it's a great thing to do.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a great thing to do. I just love it out there, especially in the summer, because everything is so crowded. And you get there and there's like no one here. No one's there. So Falmouth Beach.
Hard to find an uncrowded beach in the summer, that's for sure.
There are a few of them. There are a few, not many. The next beach that's really popular is Craigville Beach. It is a wide, long beach. It is also connected to another small beach called Cove Beach. And together, there's a lot of real estate there. And the beach is wonderful. The water is pretty warm, and it's quite popular. It's very, very big with young, flirtatious men and women. And right behind the beach, there are 2 clam shacks just across the road. And it's really, I grew up in Southampton, Long Island. And when we went to the beach, the road, you couldn't even see the road. It was all sand. That's basically in the summer what that road looks like. So people say, oh, look, there's even a beach on the road. And they have clam shacks and ice cream and everything right across the street. But the beach does get filled up very fast. So if you're planning to get to the beach in the summer, I would highly recommend you get out of bed and get to the beach, and you can sleep there. But even the national seashore beaches get absolutely packed. So don't disappoint anybody and just get yourself up and get to the beach, and you can sleep there. Get a coffee on the way. Okay, next town, there is some very nice beaches in Mashpee that is part of the Mashpee National Wildlife Refuge. It's a complex of beaches, and within those beaches, there are several. There's the Mashpee Pine Barrens. There's John's Pond. It's like they all have beaches at one end. At the other end, they have conservation trails. So if you want to go for a walk to get out of the sun for a while, I mean, there are some pine barrens that have considerable amounts of shade. Some elevated walkways that you're walking over water, like you can. It's beautiful terrain around you. It's just a change of scenery, but it's right behind most of the Mashpee beaches. Now we are in Falmouth, and probably one of the most popular beaches for flirtatious young men and women is also Surf Drive Beach, because it is absolutely, but I don't know about this year, it's usually shoulder to shoulder. I think that there are going to be changes this year in the amount that you have to have between people. Some beaches are putting up stakes and say you can start your blanket here, and then they'll have another period of length of space, and then another one here. What's going to happen after May 29th, when the mask order and all restrictions are lifted, may change. But for right now, they're spacing people apart. Oops. Surf Drive Beach. And then, of course, last but not least is Old Silver Beach, which is a Buzzards Bay facing beach and has very, very wide beach. It has fairly moderate surf, and it has the absolutely amazing Seacrest Beach Hotel behind it, which I absolutely love. You know, I used to know the director of marketing there, and every so often said, "Bill, come down to the beach. Come, you know, come for a couple nights. Wake up, open up your blinds, and there's the beach. You can be there in like 25 steps. It's a gorgeous beach." There are also Monument Beach further up the coast in the town of Bourne. Some people don't know that Bourne is not across the bridge. It's actually on this side, and it's a very not well-known town, and they don't have the infrastructure or the desire to really have a crowded villages like we do in the Mid-Cape, or they don't, you can't even buy a beach pass to any of the Bourne beaches that I know of. They just, it's a residential town, and they kind of want to keep it that way. Nonetheless, it's a beautiful drive up that shore road up towards the Cape Cod Canal. And as a matter of fact, the Abtuxet trading post just was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. One more thing I want to also mention, in January this year, and I was part of this project, so I was happy to get this announcement. Route 6A, the Old Kings Highway, a 34-mile stretch of the 62-mile road, was designated a National Scenic Byway. And I don't know if they've put any waypoints up there, but I think the plan is to put up some interpretive signboards, etc. Similarly, throughout the Cape, they've just introduced these blue economy waypoints, you know, talking about the connection between the ocean and preservation of our shores, and how people derive livings from oyster farming, fishing, etc. So that's something that's just, those waypoints were just installed, and they're going to be publicizing them more once they're all completely installed. But another new legacy for Cape Cod then. So those are the beaches.
Thank you, Bill. What a wonderful tour. And
Yeah.
speaking of new highway designations, the exits were just renumbered on the Cape too. So
Oh, right.
if you go down there and you find that your exit 2 is now exit 12 or something like
Exactly.
that. You know, Old Silver is one of my favorites as well, and it's kind of rocky in places, but it's a great place if you have little kids to take them to catch minnows with a net or something like that. I used to do that with my kids growing up, and you're absolutely right about the Seacrest. Great restaurant in there. And Bourne, you can park your car there near the canal bridge, the old canal bridge, and you can take a great bike ride down the canal. So a couple of other suggestions, but that was a wonderful tour. And we thank you for that. Athena, I want to turn to you and take advantage of your Cape Cod wisdom, because you have spent so many years out in West Dennis and working, of course, at our South Dennis branch on the Cape, which is terrific. So I know you've talked to many, many tourists in your many years there at the AAA branch. Now, you live near Mayflower Beach, which is one of the most popular beaches on the Cape. You and I both love it. And we've heard so much about the fact that Cape Cod tourism officials like Bill are expecting a blockbuster summer on the Cape. One of the things you mentioned to me is that you really have to get to many of these beaches early, as Bill said, and by early we mean before 8 a.m. in some cases. Is that correct?
Yeah, last year there were a few beaches that actually closed their parking lots at 8 a.m. So really, you do have to line up pretty early in the morning. And they do close. So at that point, you're left to find other parking means or either Ubering into the beach for the day. The days of coming into Mayflower Beach and I think leaving at lunchtime and coming back are gone. It's just exploded. Some of the best times for me to go are after 5 o'clock when everybody goes home. And it's really nice. There's no charge after 5 o'clock. You get a pizza and some drink of your choice and just hang on the beach for a couple hours, let the kids swim when it's low tide, and it's great.
Watch the sunset.
Watch the sunset. You can't beat the sunset. It's the best.
The best.
Which is a great suggestion. And the beaches are also free after 5 o'clock, correct? Which some
Yeah.
visitors from
5
California or France might not know.
You know,
5
in Barnstable, they do lock the beaches at 9 o'clock at night. Not in the winter, I think, because they think that kids are going to go in and drink or something. I don't know why they would do that. They could do that in the winter too, right?
They do shut off the restrooms and the shower. There is an outdoor shower area that is closed. There is no lifeguard, so that's important to know as well. But if you're just gonna play in the water, and when it's low tide there's area.
Great suggestion to go there in the evening, and so much fun. And I know you said a lot of people did that during COVID. They picked up, a pizza, went to the beach, it was free, and they were able to socially distance. So it's great. So anybody who's still looking to do that, just a wonderful suggestion from you. So we're hearing a lot, Athena, about the fact that the Cape in many cases is fully booked, or that a lot of rental houses are gone. So as a travel advisor, what advice do you have to folks who maybe want to go to the Cape, but they haven't booked yet? What's the best place to book? They work with a trusted realtor, Facebook Marketplace. What are the best places? Obviously, we can call you and get some recommendations, or we can call Bill, but what else?
Sure. I mean, I would reach out. Chamber of Commerce is a great outlet. If you haven't checked with VRBO or HomeAway or even Airbnb, those are still available. I have used Facebook Marketplace before. There's a Dennis community Facebook page where a lot of, or even Yarmouth, realtors post for upcoming listings or availability, but it is hard to come by as far as rentals. Hotels, there's still availability with hotels. May not be for the full week. They may be sold out on the weekends, but maybe a Monday through a Thursday kind of a trip or a day trip is still feasible at this point.
Okay, so don't give up. And if you have a relationship with a realtor, like I've been working with Martha Murray Real Estate in Dennis for many years, I'm sure that that person can find you something. It may not be your ideal situation, but can certainly find you something. And there are plenty of options in many cases if you're willing to be flexible. What about luxury properties on the Cape, Athena, like Chatham or Wequassett? Still possible to book there?
Yeah, I've been checking for people, and there's availability. It may be midweek, not necessarily a weekend of your choice, but there is availability still. So Wequassett, Chatham's, and there's a new property that just opened up in Dennis. I don't know if Bill knows about a Pelham House. That's absolutely
Yes.
That just opened up as well. So there is availability all around.
I don't know if you know about. Do you know about Auto Camp in Falmouth?
Auto Camp.
Tell us about that.
Auto Camp, go take a look. It's 110 Airstream hotel rooms. They're actual Airstreams. There are 110 of them, I believe, set over a number of acres in Sippawisset in Falmouth. And they also have some big tents, luxury tents. So autocamp.com/Cape Cod. It's quite something. Just opened.
Suggestion. I think I just saw a TV profile actually on the person who started that. So that's a great suggestion. And of course, there are other campgrounds, Athena, as well that people can take advantage of, correct?
Yep, absolutely. Brewster, there's Sweetwater. In P-Town, I believe there's Coastal Acres. In Bourne, there's Bayview. So there are a few, and they still do have availability. Again, may not be available on the weekend that you're looking at. You might have to be a little flexible, but they still have availability.
Because that's a great way to have a wonderful experience on the Cape and save some money too in many cases. So, something else to think about, especially if you find that a lot of places are booked. One of the things that Bill talked about, Athena, was the beach pass. And I love that tip on getting a pass at the Salt Pond Visitor Center.
Seniors.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's for seniors.
Right, for seniors. Well,
Yeah.
that applies to me, so my ears perk up. But at any rate, I think most of the beaches on the Cape for a day pass, Athena, right now are in the $20 to $25 range. But one good thing for people to know, especially if they don't go to the Cape often, is that you can go to the town hall in the town where you're staying, and you can get a week-long pass, which will allow you to go for the entire week and will save you some money. Is that correct in most cases with most towns, Athena?
Most cases, I know where I'm in Dennis, they are limiting the amount of passes they do give out, especially to visitors. So definitely try to get them early.
Okay. Well, I did not know that. So even if you're going to be staying on the Cape in July or August, maybe you want to take a ride down now if you can get your beach pass.
Yeah, if you can, or at the beginning of your stay, try to come in earlier and solidify that pass.
Okay. All right. So two things I want to hit: great beaches to walk on, and also taking your dogs on the beach. Because for a lot of people, that's very important, but that can't happen at all during the summer, right? Not until after Labor Day?
Only the national seashore beaches. You can always bring your dog there, but must be on a leash, but other towns will not, as far as I know, permit beaches, not between May 31st and September 15th. For the summer, you cannot. After 5 o'clock.
Actually, I think it starts on Friday for Dennis. Yeah, it's early. It's before Memorial Day.
They're getting mean now.
They are.
That's right, for us dog lovers. So, okay, so if you're bringing your dog to the Cape, then you need to think about that and you need to, plan accordingly. So just good piece of information for people to have. So Mayflower Beach, Athena, our favorite, is a great beach for walking. Some beaches, as Bill pointed out, are rocky, so you might want to bring your water shoes with you. And Athena, I know you have an opinion on the best lobster roll in the Cape and also the best ice cream. So those are important features. So why don't you tell us about that?
I stay local. So I still think Sassuat Harbor Cafe is one of my favorite places for a lobster roll, and for ice cream, I'm partial. I do like Four Seas a lot, but my favorite probably has to be the Ice Cream Smuggler in Dennis.
Which one?
Ice Cream Smuggler.
Ice Cream Smuggler.
And I love Sunday School in Dennis and Harwich. That's my favorite. You must have a favorite too, Bill.
I do. It's Polar Cave in Nashville. Death by Chocolate. Rules. Rules. He was, I don't know if you saw him, he was on national TV because he had people fighting in his parking lot, and he's just a sweet guy, and was in USA Today, he was in the Boston Globe, he was on CNN.
I do remember seeing him. Yeah, well, you can't get enough ice cream when you're on vacation on Cape Cod, so I'm sure all of these places are very, very popular. So Athena, tell me what kind of assistance you at the South Dennis branch can provide to travelers to the Cape. What kind of questions do you typically get? Do you have a lot of visitors coming in looking for guidance as to the best ice cream place, lobster roll, hotel? Can we still book? That type of thing.
Yeah, all the time. We have people coming in asking just, where can I get the best lobster roll? What's the best beach to go to for the day? Where can I go take the kids or my dogs just to play for a couple of hours? So yeah, certainly we give out maps, tour books. People that are just coming down for a couple of weeks or stay for the month and need to renew their license on the last minute because they forgot, and they make an appointment, and we can take care of that for them if they're a Massachusetts resident. So yeah, we have definitely, we're open for any questions. We're always there.
That's terrific. And of course, you also bring your expertise and having lived on the Cape for so long, and Bill, the same with you in terms of your work with the Chamber. The fact that you all are really lifelong Cape Cod residents, I'm sure really lends itself to an incredible depth and breadth of knowledge for both of you.
Yeah, it's a great place to live. Love living.
Yeah, I'm jealous, I have to tell you. So anything else the two of you would like to add? We're coming up to the end of our time, but we've got some great recommendations and suggestions, and I think you've given people a lot of food for thought, and the pictures have been beautiful. It's a gorgeous day today. I wish I were on the Cape today. So anything else either of you would like to add before we close?
Well, one thing I would say, this year in particular, we're going to have a lot of visitors who maybe have not been here for a long time or maybe have never been here. But please pack your patience. We are short, very short of workers. We were denied by COVID 3,500 international students who usually come and work at our restaurants, at our hotels, and various other positions throughout the Cape. Everyone who's here is here to provide you with an amazing and unforgettable vacation. So please, if you can, cut them a little slack. If your meal's a little bit late, you have to wait a little bit longer for that table, you're on vacation. There's no clock running. Just enjoy yourself, and please put yourself in their shoes. If they're working sometimes 2 shifts back to back, they're here to ensure that you have a great vacation. Just pack your patience. That's all. Just relax. That's what Cape's about.
You know what, Bill, you're so right about that. Athena, anything you want to add?
No, he just took the words right out of my mouth. Pack patience. It's going to be a very busy summer, and but it's going to be a great one. I think people are really excited about having a nice back to normal summer almost.
And also, the timing your drive also. Do not come during rush hour. Come at night if you can. Come very early in the morning. Saturdays are going to be difficult to get off Cape. That's changeover day. So if you're going to depart the Cape to go home to Providence or Boston or New York, leave early. Leave at 4 in the morning if you have to, but you'll save yourself hours on the road. You know, it's just a fact of life until we get those new bridges up.
That's right. That's right. Great suggestions. And Bill, I know exactly what you mean. We're at a restaurant in Sandwich on Friday evening, and you know, the service was a little bit slower, and we talked to the owner and to the servers, and they said we're just having such a tough time getting help. But we're so glad that you're here, and the restaurant was really busy, so that was wonderful to see. You know, it's wonderful to see all of the establishments, restaurants, beaches out on the Cape getting busy again. And hopefully, you know, people will be respectful and stay safe as well. But I have to thank both of you. This has been great fun, Athena and Bill, and I can't wait to get to the beach again. I'm sure our viewers are ready to hit the sand as well after seeing all of these great pictures here today. Thank you so much to our audience and our 2 great speakers. Bill and Athena, I hope to see both of you on the Cape this summer. Wishing both of you and our audience a wonderful Memorial Day weekend and a terrific summer of sun and sand and fun. Safe and happy travels, everyone. For AAA Northeast, I'm Mary McGuire. Have a great day.